Hola clase. Today we're going to begin a new tense called the future tense. So I'm just going to go over some notes. I thought maybe it'd be easier for you to understand this with notes given by me from our normal PowerPoint in class. All right, so we're going to be starting on the future tense, and there's actually two ways to use the future. The first way we use the future tense is called the simple future tense, and this is something you already learned, nothing new. This is when you use the ir, a plus an infinitive in the present tense. Ir means to go, a means to, and then a verb is obviously an action. I am going to do the action. It's showing the action will be taking place in the future. So we're going to start with the conjugation of ir in the present tense using the regular conjugations of voy, vas, va, vamos, van. We're simply going to add a and then a non-conjugated verb known as an infinitive. So I'll show you some examples. Tú vas a caminar en el parque. You are going to walk in the park. So you can see we have vas, which is the to form of ir, a, and then caminar. You are going to walk in the park. Ellos van a cocinar la cena. They are going to cook the dinner. And our last example, nosotros vamos a lavarnos las manos. We are going to wash our hands. These are actions that have not taken place in the present tense, but we will do them in the immediate future, which is why we call this the simple future. This is not our new tense, but it is one way of showing the future tense. This is our new tense. This is called the future tense. The future tense is formed differently than all other tenses and will translate as will do something. Verbs are left in the infinitive form when expressing the future tense, which means the AR, ER, and IR verb endings are left on the verb. Since the endings are left on the verb, there is only one set of verb endings. There is no need to distinguish between the different verbs with the endings left on. So to recap, we're going to leave the verb with its AR, ER, and IR ending attached, and we're going to add some new endings directly onto the verb. This makes this tense extremely simple to conjugate. And here are the endings. All verbs will use the same endings, regardless if you have an AR, ER, or IR verb. They're all the same. You have to memorize this one set of endings, and you'll be able to conjugate all verbs in this tense. Has, a, hemos, han. Make sure to note that everything has an accent mark except for the nosotros form, so be careful there. And then on the bottom here, you guys can see an example. So as I stated, you're going to have the verb hablar in the infinitive, leaving its AR ending attached, and we simply add the yo form ending of a to the verb, hablaré, which means I will speak. Hablarás, hablará, hablaremos, and hablarán. Everything has an accent but the nosotros form. All right, some practice for this morning. See if we can conjugate these. Número uno, Pedro hablar. You should have Pedro hablará. Again, leave the verb in the infinitive with its AR ending attached and simply add the ending to the end. Number two, nosotros esperar should be nosotros esperemos. Yo caminar, yo caminaré. Número 4. Los chicos tomar, tomarán. 2. Cocinar, cocinarás. Ellas mirar, Miraran. Y usted escuchar, escuchará. So that wraps up your practice for today. And then the last thing I need you to copy in your notes are the following keywords, which I will define for you. You need to know all of these words. They indicate the action will take place at a later time.